guys, what's up? Dark Vizit here, and today I'm going to read another Shantae fan fiction. My god guys, some of the stuff you guys write out there are really just, I'm not going to say any names, but I did see one that I was almost going to read, but then I saw it involve Shantae and, let's just say, gas coming out of a region. I did not really understand why that was a story. But it was about Shantae and basically eating too much Taco Bell one night. And I was like, my god guys. But anyway, this is called Starry Night Love, and it is by Foxboy614. And it's about one night Bolo was out watching the stars when Shantae joined him to watch them. Both have been developing secret feelings for each other, and tonight they're about to be revealed. Oh boy. So guys, let's get into this. On a starry night, Bolo was on the roof of his house looking up at the night sky. A full moon was out, and there were thousands upon thousands of stars littering the sky. Bolo was connecting these stars, creating all sorts of different formations, ranging from monkeys to elephants. But as he did that, his mind wandered over to his best friend since childhood, Shantae. The mere thought of her made his face run red and his heart begin to beat faster. But it was a big mystery to him. He never thought that way about her before. He always saw her as like a sister. So why is he starting to have romantic thoughts about her? Bolo just couldn't figure it out. But how could he not like someone like her? She's such a kind and caring girl. She's defended the town from evil many times and has gone from being a somewhat shy girl to a strong, independent young woman. Oh boy. Also, he found her powers amazing. While her being able to shoot fireballs was cool, if a bit basic, how can you call that basic? Her ability to transform via belly dancing was truly remarkable. Was truly remarkable. No fear in dancing even in front of guys who would go nuts for her. She even showed no fear dancing in front of those who would only want her for her beauty and not the girl she is inside. The thought that any guy would want Shantae solely, they put that in bold, for her body made him mad. Shantae is much more than a pretty face and a sexy curvy body. Much more than that. But still, Bolo wasn't going to deny that she was a very beautiful girl, especially with that long, cotton soft, silky smooth purple hair. Oh boy. And the fact that she could use that thing as a weapon was very impressive. Man, this is getting kind of intense. But while Bolo wishes he could go from being her friend to her boyfriend, he felt he had no shot with her. He had convinced himself that a slow-witted, plain guy like him could never be good enough for a dynamic, amazing, and gorgeous girl like Shantae. While he has come to accept this as truth, it still tore him up on the inside. Who are you kidding, Bolo? He asked himself mentally. A guy like you with a girl like her? Pfft, get real. As Bolo sat there, lost in his own thoughts, he didn't even notice someone walking up behind him. He felt a finger tap him on the shoulder, shaking him from his thoughts and making him turn himself towards the source of the tapping, only to find the very girl he was thinking of standing there before him, Shantae. Shantae! Hi, Bolo said once he recovered from the shock. What brings you here? Oh, not much. It was just a beautiful night and I wanted to watch the stars. I hear there's going to be a meteor shower soon, Shantae explained. But before I had got myself situated on my rooftop, I decided to see would you like to join me. I see, Bolos stated. But since you're out watching stars too, I decided I'd join you, Shantae added. That is, if you're okay with that, she added shyly, but relaxed when Bolo gave her a warm smile. You're more than welcome to join me, he told her. Shantae smiled and thanked him, then took a seat really close to Bolo. Bolo's face went red again at how close she was to him. They were so close. Even the slightest movement would cost them the touch. And if that happened, Bolo was going to have a hard time explaining to her why his face is redder than a beet. I mean, if your face is already red, dude, she can tell. The two sat there in silence, watching the stars in the sky. Bolo told Shantae that he would draw random shapes by connecting the stars together, coming up with all sorts of different formations. Shantae tried it and ended up connecting the stars to form a shark, a hawk, and a bull. Shantae giggled at this. She wouldn't have thought that doing something so childish would be so fun and amusing. Bolo smiled softly, hearing her giggle. It was such a cute and Wow, I have not ever seen that word used in a sentence like this. Melodious sound. Okay, I see what he was saying. Okay. Shantae resumed creating constellations until she had accidentally done one of Bolo. Shantae's face became a shade of red that matched her betla. I'm proud he knows what a betla is. Or she. I don't know. I'm just going, never mind. While Shantae is nervous about telling it to anyone, she too has formed a crush on her childhood friend. True, he's not as attractive as other guys she has seen, but he is still a very good looking guy. He may be slow-witted, but he is not entirely dumb. And he's always been there for her when she needs him. Also, while he's not very muscular, his lean body was well toned, and his hair, as Shantae once found out, was quite soft and fluffy. But there is a major roadblock: doubts. What if she decides to pursue a romantic relationship with Bolo, but things got really weird really quick? Or if he doesn't return her affections. Even though they share similar feelings for each other, neither of them knew it. The stars really are pretty tonight. Huh, Shantae asked, trying to start a conversation. Yeah, they are, Bolo replied. But they're nothing compared to you, he thought. I love doing this, just going outside, relaxing, and just look up at the stars. It's simple, but nice, Shantae said. I like coming out, and watching the stars too, Bolo said in agreement. Plus, listening to the waves rolling is always relaxing. It didn't take long before their conversation died and the two were in silence once more. Shantae saw Bolo in the corner of her eye, and he seemed a bit off. Shantae turned her head to see Bolo looking up like he was in deep thought. Shantae wondered what was in his mind. Hey Bolo, what's up? She asked him. Just thinking about stuff, he half lied. Like what? Shantae asked, wanting some specifics. Oh, places I've gone, people I've met, girls that have caught my eyes, Bolo answered. Shantae felt a bit nervous. She thought Bolo had found some other girl. I see. Have you tried to talk to any of these girls? She asked him, not wanting him to get suspicious. Some of them, he replied. No luck though. I used to be attracted to Roddy Tots, but kind of got over it, seeing that she's a zombie. That's horrible. And that she's recently found someone. Sky, we're just friends. True, she's pretty, but I don't think I'm her type. Ah, Shantae said in understanding. So is there one you think you're her type? Is there one you think you're her type? Okay. Sadly, no, Bolo told her. Sucks too, because there's one that really caught my eyes, but I have a gut feeling I don't have even a ghost of a chance with her. Shantae was surprised to hear him say that. He felt he didn't have a shot with any of these girls, and she was really curious about Bolo's girls she was referring to. What's she like? Where do I begin? Bolo asked with a slight chuckle. She's the whole package. Tough, smart, likes to have fun, caring, kind, and very beautiful. She's the kind of girl you expect to only see in your dreams. But she's an amazing dancer. Just watching her. I mean, wow. Bolo couldn't quite put into words of how to describe her dancing. Shantae giggled though. Sounds like an amazing girl, Shantae said. She really is. But the thing is, this is a girl I've known since we were both little. On one hand, we've known each other over the years and have a good bond. But on the other hand, I have a fear she doesn't think of me the same way. But if she does, I fear things will get weird and she may not ever want to see me again, he added sadly. Shantae placed a hand on his shoulder sympathetically. She had a similar feeling herself. I know the feeling, Bolos, Shantae said. I have a big crush on an amazing guy I knew since I was a kid. He's grown to be quite cute and a handsome boy. And while he may be lean, he's developed some impressive muscle tone. He has some very soft hair that I so want to run my fingers through so badly. My God, Shantae, just go ahead and get to bed with the dude. Also, he's been there for me when I need him. He's like a guy from a dream. Cute, handsome, tough, polite, and loyal, she said. But like you, I fear he'll either see me as just a friend or things will get weird and awkward between us. Bolos was surprised to hear that from her. I had no idea you felt that way, he said. It's okay, Shantae told him. I just wish I could tell him how I feel. Same with me. I wish I could tell that girl how I feel. Well, why don't you try it now, Shantae asked. I can't, Bolo replied. Why not, Shantae asked. I just can't, Bolo told her, getting a bit angsty. It was getting harder and harder to keep his feelings bottled in. I know, but why? Shantae repeated, getting impatient. Because she's here beside me, and I'm too scared to tell her, Bolos suddenly shouted. But immediately afterwards, his face went bright red, realizing he had actually let his true feelings slip. And there was dead silence between them. Shantae couldn't believe her ears. She was the girl Bolo had a crush on. And since Bolo was the guy she had a crush on, her heart was particularly swelling with joy. Because it's bolded when they say it like that. But Bolo? Shantae stammered, unable to form words because she was too shocked and overjoyed for the words. Listen, Shantae, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Bolo was cut off when he felt Shantae wrap her arms around his neck and pressed her lips against his tightly. Bolo was paralyzed. He was expecting Shantae to even hug him, let alone kiss him. But before he could respond, Shantae pulled away and placed both hands on the side of his face, smiling lovingly. Oh, Bolo, you little dope, she said teasingly. You don't have to apologize, because the guy I told you about was you, she told him. But I had no idea that you had similar feelings about me. Bolo smiled softly and placed his hands on her hips. Oh boy, here we go. So, are we officially a couple? Okay, see, kids, people, this is not how relationships work. Just because a girl kisses you and you put your hands on her hips, it takes a little more work for a couple to work. You know, I've learned this the hard way. So, are we officially a couple? Or, Bolo asked. That all hinges on one thing. Whether or not you ask me if I'll go out with you, Shantae replied. Okay, so, Shantae, will you go out with me, Bolo asked, still nervous about this. Shantae smiled and pressed her lips against his. My God, Shantae. Essentially answering his question. That didn't answer anything. If a girl kissed me for every time I thought I was going to be in a relationship, I'd be rich. You know, my little heart's been broken so much. And this time, Bolo was quick to respond, and he wrapped his arms around her curvy waist. Oh boy, pulling her close to him. The two stayed like this for a long time until they had to break away to breathe. Once they had broke away and were catching their breath, they looked deep into each other's eyes. Bolo moved one hand to the back of her head and pulled her in for another kiss. Shantae wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed back, harder this time, as she ran her fingers through his soft, spiky hair. At one point in the kiss, Bolo felt something soft and a bit slimy run across his lips. Oh my God. Woo, boy. Okay. Hang on. Oh boy, I'm getting kind of warm. Bolo moved one hand to the back of her head and pulled her in for another kiss. Shantae wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed back harder. this time as she ran her fingers through his soft, spiky hair. At one point in the kiss, Bolo felt something soft and a bit slimy run across his lips. It was Shantae's tongue, trying to find an entrance. Bolo opened his mouth, granting her access, and Shantae's tongue danced its way into his mouth, exploring and tasting him. Bolo moved his tongue into her mouth, exploring and tasting her as well. I'm glad my neighbors aren't here. They were so caught up in their amorous moment, they lost their balance and fell backwards. Shantae landing on top of Bolo. Oops, Shantae said frantically. I'm so sorry, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, Bolo replied with a wink and smile. I've had worse. Shantae smiled and leaned in to resume their previous kiss as their tongues met in the middle and were entangled in an intimate dance as Bolo rubbed her back smoothly. Shantae sighed in the kiss. Oh boy. Meanwhile, down below in the streets, Sky was walking around, looking through some of the shops that were still open. At one point, she heard what sounded like wet pops and soft, happy moans. What the heck, she thought? She wanted to try to see what was going on, so she went to find a way to get to the rooftops. Once she finally made her way to the rooftops, she followed the sound of the noise. But when she finally found it, her face became as red as a ripe apple when she saw Shantae on top of Bolo, their arms around each other and kissing. She quickly ducked behind the nearest thing that she could hide her from view. As she hid, a devious smile broke across her face. Blackmail material, she thought evilly as she left for home. Soon, Shantae and Bolo stopped kissing and were now resuming the original plan to watch the stars. But now, Shantae was in Bolo's lap. Bolo had his arms wrapped around her, and they were creating constellation together now. But soon, Shantae had dozed off and fell asleep on Bolo's lap. Bolo's head heard her steadily breathing, and very carefully, he looped one arm around her legs and stood up so that he was now holding her bridal style. Then he made his way back to her house. Once he got to her house, he placed her on her bed. He carefully took her jewelry and shoes off and pulled the covers over her. Before he left, he placed a soft kiss on her forehead, smiling lovingly at her. Shantae smiled in her sleep, letting out a happy sigh. Soon Bolo made his way back to his own home. Bolo felt he was walking on air. He never thought he'd have a shot with Shantae, nor did he ever think Shantae had a crush on him. He felt truly blessed by God to know that a girl as amazing as Shantae and have her in his life. As he laid down in his bed, he fell asleep with a smile on his face, wondering what tomorrow holds in store. Alright guys, that's the end of that story. My God, did it get intense at the end. I seriously got kind of warm, like, my God, where is this going? You know, I find it funny. I wish relationships were that easy, because if they were, my God, I would be taken now. I've had the worst luck when it came to girls in my past, you know, and basically it worked like this relationship where it was basically like, oh, okay, we're hugging. Are we going out? Sure. 15 minutes later, I get a call on the phone. You know what? I think we should break up. I'm like, well, here we go again, you know. Well, that was a pretty fun story. I enjoyed that one. That was pretty fun. I didn't know it was going to get into that kind of territory. That was something. I did not know it was going to go there. So maybe I should research in the future or actually just go with it. But yeah, that was pretty funny. All right, guys, that's it. Pretty good story, like I said. Again, this was by Foxboy614, and you know, it was a pretty good story, you know, I guess. So yeah, good job, Foxyboy614, and the story was called Starry Night Love. All right, guys, that's it.